It's amazing.
It isn't, yes, in fact, because look, it's got a moving background.
Oh
Oh
yeah,
yeah, I see it
yeah.
now. Yeah,
There's a
yeah,
there's a cat.
yeah. Although,
Excellent. Okay, right. So,
amazing. Wow.
um, well, welcome. Lovely to see you all. And I think I can get away with saying Happy New Year for a little bit longer.
Mm,
um, so I hope you are all keeping.
okay.
Now, this today is my Website Wednesday live event, which is an extension of my Simply Visible free community over on Facebook. And if you haven't joined in there yet, then I'll just drop the link in the chat now and do come along. Just to say, I'm having internet problems at the moment. Just switched over to Sky Business and I've had nothing but issues. If I drop out, I will come back. So please bear with me. Really not ideal when you're running an online business. So if this is your first time here, a quick bit about me. I've been in digital marketing since 2001, when the internet was quite new. And over the years, I've acquired a lot of practical knowledge on website design, website build, SEO, tech, funnels, blogging, all sorts of things. And for many years, my business was more of an agency model where I was doing the work. But for one reason and another, and also because the market got quite saturated with web designers, and I could see that businesses were struggling due to complicated tech. And so they might have got into a pickle with their website provider, or they'd lost control of their setup. Or so I started doing quite a lot of rescuing and simplifying, and that led me to more educating on how it all fits together. And so when 2020 happened, I had a bit of a rethink, and now I spend my time kind of teaching and consulting and helping service professionals like you make more of their website and their online visibility. And I love it. I absolutely love it. So I know better than anyone how confusing and downright contradictory websites and tech can be. But from my experience, I also know that stopping, going back a few steps, aligning some things, then allows you to move forward with a vengeance. And often it's about knowing what to do at what stage and kind of splitting it down into smaller chunks, which is easier to implement. And that's where I now come in, helping to unpick tech spaghetti, helping to move the needle forward in my clients' businesses. So back to today, I'm going to chat for about 10 to 15 minutes around funnels. And then, I mean, as we're quite a small group, to be honest, I don't mind if you have questions as we go, but definitely there'll be plenty of time for you to ask me questions, what things you're struggling with your website or your content or your SEO, and utilize this time to let me help you. And then at the very end, I'll just ask you to share one gem or something that you found helpful from today. Just gives me a little bit of feedback, really. So does that all sound okay? Great. Okay. So as a service professional, whether you are a consultant, a coach, solopreneur, or small business, you know that attracting the right clients is important for your business success. And whilst social media has a place in the marketing mix, it's not the be all and end all. And I think we could probably all agree that it's quite exhausting. You have to be present, you have to turn up. And often it's almost overcomplicated more than it needs to be. And the other issue with relying on that means alone is that you're only growing a following, you're not growing an asset. And an email list is an asset. And that's where funnels come in. Because from social media or from other places where, other touch points, let's call it, you would bring a prospect over to your website and get them to take action and kind of come into your world. And then once they're on your website, they're on a journey. And then if they're first coming into your world and they're quite cold, they're not necessarily going to take a big action. They're not necessarily going to book a call with you or start spending. Well, they might book a call, but they're not going to start spending money, shall we say, because they're still quite new and they're still probably wanting to lurk and find out a little bit more about you. And so, and also, if you think about it, none of us like a pushy salesperson who goes straight for the jugular and kind of ram something down your throat. It's just so off-putting. And so we want to create a nice environment and journey which helps to warm the prospect up. And so a funnel is like stepping stones. That's the way I like to explain it, because you're kind of guiding and taking them through each step on a kind of need to know basis. They don't need to know necessarily about your big final offer, but you can slowly kind of move them along. And this process is also known as the customer journey in kind of marketing speak. But I think the beauty of a funnel is that you can learn how effective it is because you've got analytics and you can look at what's actually working and not working. And then you can tweak and tailor things and improve it over time. So it's a dynamic thing, but it's something that, you know, having these little routes in will really help move your potential customers through the sales journey. So just to go back a step and kind of zoom out for a minute, what is a sales funnel? So basically it's a bit like a funnel. So where it's wider at the top, narrower at the bottom, and when people come and find you, they're still quite cold, and then you kind of guide them through and you're narrowing because people are dropping off and kind of you're being more specific as they come down the funnel, so that then by the time they're ready to pay, they're not time wasters. You know that they are somebody you want to work with, and you're providing value at each stage as they kind of come down. So when it comes to, again, marketing speak, we talk about the awareness stage, which is right at the top, where they've just found out about you. Then the interest stage, as they start to develop more of an interest, hang around a little bit more, and then they start to consider what you have to offer, and then eventually they will convert. Does that sound all okay so far? Yeah, great. Okay, so my recommendation, if you don't have a funnel set up, is to start small. So it might be that you have, you know, sign up to my email list. Could be just a very, very simple one. Or another might be to download a freebie or something where you're providing value and you're giving something away for free, and in return, it's a bit transactional, but in return you're getting their email address, so that then through the funnel process you can then guide them through. So for example, say you had sign up to my email address. On the thank you page, you could utilize that page and actually position something else, like, well, what's the next bit? Well, it might be your free community, or it might be a very low cost offer where, you know, I don't know, like a £7 offer or a £29 offer, or something which again is super valuable. This has to be tested, but you know, it's worth kind of utilizing that thank you page for a bit more. So don't just leave it there. And then as you get sort of further down the line, as you get more complex, then you would start to layer it with other offers. So you could have a funnel, you could have an email automation, which is all set up separately, and each email kind of drips out over time, and it might have a different offer, and depending on what someone clicks on, depends on where they might go next. That's when it starts to get very complicated and quite sophisticated further down the line. But the point is that it's important to have something so that you can capture email addresses. And what you need for a funnel is you need a web page. It doesn't need to be a website. If someone's really new in business, I would almost say don't have a website yet. It's too soon till you have an offer that's selling. But MailerLite, which is the email system I use, all these email systems have the opportunity for you to create a landing page. So at a very basic level, you could set up MailerLite, you could have a form on the page. The person would fill out the form with whatever it is they're agreeing to, and then there would be an email that would be triggered from MailerLite or similar that would then start the kind of friendship or relationship, shall we say, between you. So that's kind of what you would need in order to start. And I mean, most businesses have some kind of email system, but not all. It just depends on what you're doing with your marketing, really. So the reason I kind of call them the unsung heroes of your website is that they're kind of behind the scenes doing quite a lot of the heavy lifting for you. So the automation, once it's set up, that can just then kind of run and be bringing people into your world and then leading them through that process. So one of my funnels is filling out a form and doing a website audit, because I've identified that that's one of the first things that somebody might be needing to do to sort of see how their website's measuring up. And then from that, they then kind of come into a series of email sequences and so forth. And it's worth, again, from experience, it's worth like keeping an eye on your metrics and your analytics, just to kind of try and understand. I know it's quite technical stuff, but try and understand, if you say you've got more than one funnel, well, which one's performing better? And then, try and work out why that might be. So funnels are, really important part of a website, of a user journey, of creating that, having that initial awareness through to then becoming more confident and more at ease with who you are as a business, and then wanting to work with you. And obviously it does depend on the type of business, because a product business would be quite different to a service business. If you see something you like, shiny object, you might go and click and buy it there and then. I guess I mostly work with service professionals, so that's why there needs to be more kind of nurturing. But it could be, even then, it could be if they found you at the right time, and they really, when we all have a problem, we go to Google and try and find a solution. And I've had this myself, and I found that when you, particularly with your SEO, when you have got your messaging right and you are attracting the right type of clients, even getting on that first call with them, I've converted people over the phone, because they're so specific about what they need help with. They've come through my funnel, and then we get on the phone. If you hit it off, and that's people by people, you're kind of halfway there. So it is possible to get those really quick wins, but that equally there are people that have been in my world that have been lurking, and you just think that they're not interested, and then all of a sudden they book in with you, and it's just the timing is right. So there's a lot of a lot of variables, I guess, as to why it takes time and type of business, etc. So that's kind of what I wanted to share with you today. I'd love to chat about it, answer any questions, know where you are with your funnels or not, no funnels. And it looks like my internet behaved a bit, so I'm very pleased about that. Any questions, any comments, or? Oh yes, Jade. Hi Jade, lovely to see you.
Hiya. Yeah, I really liked the comment you said about the thank you page, because actually I think I've got set up as an automation to go straight, say, to the home page, but actually I could actually set that up to be a page with a thank you and then some kind of call to action. So I'm going to tweak that on one of my websites today. So I run two different businesses. I've got a product business and a service business.
Yeah.
So there are sort of different issues with those, which I would love to have sort of further chats with you. But yeah, I'm definitely going to change that and add a CTA on my. I'm going to create a thank you page for my download and see what happens from there.
Excellent. That's great. So there is a term called a tripwire. I don't like the term because it sounds like you're tripping somebody up. But the idea being that then you kind of position a low cost offer or something there. And often it's that, you're never going to see this off. I don't really like those tactics personally, but they work because I buy from them. You're never going to see this offer again. It should be this massive price and it's this tiny price. And so it can work. But yeah, that's great. I'm really glad that you've got something out of that. Any other comments, Ali?
Hi. With a business like mine, where I don't really give offers, because mine's kind of a very specific working. Is there anything that I can do to kind of, I guess a lot of people who do visit my website generally are either people that I've sent them there through whatever, or I guess they've stumbled across it just by accident. But I don't, generally people don't really come to me for offers. So I'm just wondering what I can do, I guess, in order to get people in my funnel.
Well, when I use the term offer, actually that's misleading, because what I mean is service. Offer is like, it's a bit of jargon, really. It could mean an offer, a discount, a something or other, but actually I mean your service, your like end main service.
Okay.
So it still would apply, if they were they've discovered you and they're wondering if you'd be a good fit, or they want to know more about you or lurk for a bit. So definitely trying to get them on your email list would be a good thing to do.
Yeah. Well, and actually, your people by people. Someone bought me the other day. I was like that. Wow.
It works.
It works. So yeah. So thank you.
Oh, no, you're welcome. Good. Hey Stevie, how you doing?
Hey, Natalie, some great tips there. I just wanted to ask about creating the funnel and designing it. I haven't done that in a few years, and I know Richard has this really detailed one. What website would you use to create one?
I'd use a piece of paper and a pen.
Yeah.
Because what Steve is referring to is something called Funnelytics, which is, there's a free version and it's excellent. But I go down a rabbit hole with stuff like that because I want it to look amazing, and then I kind of go off on a tangent. And for me personally, what I ended up doing was just grabbing a piece of paper, mapping it out, crossing things out, and then kind of redoing a cleaner version. And I've got it on my wall up next to me. But probably Funnelytics otherwise, or even maybe even Canva Maybe even just do.
You've got some little whiteboards in Canva or something like that, and they're quite good for doing that sort of thing, a bit of a brainstorm board. Another easy way, like you said, Natalie, is just using post-its just to get all the stages out and then move them around so that you map them and add them in, and then perhaps build it on something like that. Canva has some great sort of whiteboards with some charts and things in to try.
Yeah, that's brilliant. That's a really good idea. I know somebody does that with post-its initially, because then you can kind of have it on the wall and maybe kind of think about it, and then when you're ready to sort of firm it up a bit, yeah, that's a great idea. Yeah.
I guess I liked your, again, a bit like Jade said, I like the thank you page. I was thinking about actually adding a little video on the thank you page when someone's come to the point that that's the bit they're going to download, just saying, hey, thanks, that's great.
Yeah.
Often that is perhaps their first interaction with you if they found you on your website. It's I just saw I saw it on somebody's, and I thought, oh, that's great. I thought I quite like that idea. Just that's it. It's that first sort of lead magnet that they're coming into your world, and they can actually sort of perhaps hear or see you. That might be an idea.
Yeah, and I suppose it's that thing about, okay, first touch point. What would their next stage be? If you were chatting to them, what would you be encouraging them to do next? And then at that point, right, what would the next thing be? And just doing it as simply as that until the point where, a discovery call, a free call, is also it's free, so that's not a hard sell, and you make it 20 minutes. That can be as simple as that. It could be they've joined your mailing list, or they've downloaded something, and then on the thank you page you could say, why not get on a call with me and I can explain this freebie and how it might apply to your business, or something like that. So it doesn't have to be, too complicated, I guess, is the point. In fact, if anything, if you can get them on the phone, that's when the people by people thing kicks in. The sooner you can get that human interaction, the better. Yeah. Excellent. Good. Anything from you, Martin?
I'm sat here wondering, because I got, as you know, a lovely offer, and it goes to a thank you page, and it's full of videos and links and everything. But it's the stage before that. If people aren't finding your website, and I know SEO, I sold. I'm in. But so where else is a naive question? Where else do you put the opportunity for people to sign up and land and get through this funnel?
So that's a great question.
If they're not finding your website, where else do you do it? So
then definitely socials. So where you might have a series of, say, freebies that over a period of time that you might create. So I created one recently called 13 things to do before having a website. And so you can then, it's just a PDF. You could put that in LinkedIn, you could put that in Facebook, you could go into Facebook groups. If you join groups where your ideal customer is, and I guess LinkedIn groups, you could then, you're almost leaving like Hansel and Gretel, like leaving a breadcrumb trail back to your site. So I know in Facebook groups, there's a search thing, so you could actually search for, I would be going in searching for websites or SEO or something, but you could go in and put a keyword in and then see, and then maybe answer people's queries or whatever.
Not thought about groups, thank you. I'll do that.
Okay, cool. Put it on your footer of your email. I guess if they're getting emails from you, they're already on your list. But yeah, anybody else got anything that they could share about places to post links?
Networking.
Just so you're aware, I made the website before reading the 13 things you should do before making a website.
Yeah, if you've got any networking groups, you can pop it into there. yeah, I don't know, on your social media, put it on your stories, just put a link to it. And it's just repetition is what I would say. Doing it once is not enough.
No.
You've got to do it all the time,
Yeah.
all the time so that people are hearing, seeing.
Yeah.
Okay.
And actually, that reminds me, something that took me a while to figure out, but you could do is almost create some, say, graphics in Canva, maybe story graphics or maybe post graphics, and have a series of them. Like, I mean, don't make it complicated, but have, I don't know, 5 or 6, say, and it's the same thing, but it's saying it in a different way. And I've often gone onto people's stories and got inspiration from how they've done it. So then, you know, you're still kind of every now and then putting that link out there, but it doesn't look like the same graphic. Not that anyone's going to remember anyway, but it just might make you feel better. Yeah. And then you've got like a little bank of graphics for that offer, for that freebie, and then you could have some for another freebie, and then you're kind of building up your assets.
Sure.
Not having to, you know,
Yeah,
should I post it?
Yeah, a lot of Facebook groups have a particular day when they say you can, put your offer on or something like that. So you do have to make sure you know when that is. Not all of them allow them, all the time. But if you can catch those days, that can be a possibility.
Yeah, I go onto Facebook and then I click on groups, and every group that I'm in, I'll just kind of go through a few and go, oh, today's, I don't know, website link, or they're saying I can put my offer, or they're saying I can put my social media link or my community. So that's the easiest, again, that's what I've worked out. The easiest way of doing it is just to, rather than
I just thought of another one too that came up the other day, was that if you've got somebody in your world that you align with, you perhaps have the same audience, you can often ask them if they would be happy to promote your offer, your sign up. There's a lot of bundles going along at the moment. You see all those sorts of things, but sometimes it doesn't need to be that complicated. It literally somebody who aligns with you and their audience, you can ask, and I'm happy to share something of yours, introduce you to my world, and vice versa. That's actually quite a good one.
Sharing audiences is a great one. And going a little bit further than that, and this is something I really want to do, is to get in front of their audience. So sometimes people will be saying they're looking for speakers, but you could also outreach and say, I would love to come and speak on this, or, you know, here's 3 things I could talk about. What do you think would be most applicable to your audience? And that's a really good way. And podcasts, I suppose. So I'd like to do more stuff like that. Yeah, brilliant. Some really good ideas there. Excellent. So anything else? Any other questions or anything that I can help you with beyond funnels? So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to drop a couple of links into the chat. So if you want to do a website audit, you can use my tool there. And if you wanted to get on a call with me to have a chat, a sort of a deeper chat, as it were, then do book in a call with me here. And yeah, beyond that, thank you so much for coming. So what were your gems? Do you want to just pop something in the chat for me? So I find that really, really helpful. Also good for social media.
Just type my message into a password box. That's no good.
That's definitely not the full name. Brilliant. Wonderful. Oh, can I just ask, Stevie and Jade, did you have to did you get an email from me with the link for the meeting? So I sent one out about 1:45.
I got loads of emails actually, but it was whichever one I jumped in on was the one that said it was waiting for host to start. So I don't know, but yeah, lots of emails came in yesterday and this morning. So I can't remember which one I actually joined from. It wasn't until you sent me that message on LinkedIn and said actually come in on this one that I came in through there.
Oh, okay, all right. So usually we send a message out on a Monday, no, on a Tuesday, and then we send another reminder on a Wednesday morning, and then a 15-minute one with the actual link. But okay, thank you.
I'm not sure if I got one. LinkedIn, is it? I think I got one on LinkedIn.
Yeah, but you clicked the Zoom registration.
Yeah.
And then that would then trigger getting an email about 12 with the details.
All right. No,
Unless that's gone into spam or something.
Maybe it's my spam folder. I don't know. I can't say it.
Okay.
No, I had one saying that you were online. I did have a bit like Jade. I had quite a few emails, and I was between LinkedIn and between directly from you, and then
LinkedIn, of course, yeah.
I had one saying, I'm online now, so why not come and say hello? So I stayed there for ages and ages, and then you ended the meeting, and I was like, oh, she doesn't want to speak to me today.
Okay, I think I need to nail this. I need to nail my funnel.
Oh, thank you ever so much,
right.
as always.
Okay, lovely to see
Thank
you
you,
all.
Natalie. Thanks.
And yeah, thanks very much. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.